So just when you think this discussion on AI is starting to cool down a little bit, we had that incident where a person was escorted out. I think it was Dragon Con by the police for selling AI art, things of this nature. We keep hearing stories. It keeps coming back. And here, world renowned and a bucket list artist for me, Mr. Mike Krome, had his art plagiarized by AI, and it's obvious it was his art. If you look at it, he says, quote unquote, AI isn't theft, it's just a tool. And then he goes on to say, the tool, huh? And as you can see here, the original from Mike Krome is the one on the left, and the more painted like version of it is on the right. Clearly, AI stole this, right? This isn't even a hodgepodge of it just thrown together something from a random prompt. This has been recreated by someone through AI. So they probably took the original version and ran it through some sort of AI program. But yeah, I mean, this is how easy it is to be done. And apparently, as the story goes, the one on the right, the fake piece, was being sold on Deviant Art as prints. And this is where the real problem comes into play, where someone is now taking your work, running it through an AI filter, and then going ahead and monetizing it and calling it their own. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. You know what I'm saying? Let's read through some of the comments here. Mike Krome himself says, the left is a Dynamite exclusive he did last year, and the right is some slop a keen-eyed browser spotted on Deviant Art. Apparently, they're even selling prints. And but the AI looks better, crowd chimes in. I could almost agree with you. It's bright, realistic, inviting, just like those crayons you're eating, but you're missing the point. I don't even know if it looks better. I mean, because if you examine it pretty closely, like if you blew this up, this woman in red, her foot is all wrong down here. This hand over here looks kind of mutated. And I'm sure there'll be other things that people can spot. Like if we took a good close look at these hands here, they're probably wrong, I don't think it looks better. I don't think you can replace human art. I think you can make some cool things with AI, right? Don't get me wrong. But human art is about human creativity. It's about the human soul. You know what I mean? You take the soul out of it, honestly. Will Jack Art, they seem to be fans of yours too. Sticky fingers all around. And yeah, I guess we can't see all that, but you get the idea. Another copy and paste sort of thing here. Ali Garza, who has worked with us, says the right side has them Cotton Hill vampies. Tojo took their shins. Danica says, yeah, might be realistic, bright, and inviting, but at the end of the day, they all look the same. No soul, no identity. 100%. Danica and I, we're solid on that, I think. To be honest, Mike, you can paint a realistic one on the right if you had the time. At least it will still be you, and I just chimed in there and agreed with Danica. That is totally messed up. I hope you can get them to stop it. Good luck with that. And that's, again, sort of the problem with no real laws and guidelines as it concerns AI is it's really like the Wild West, unfortunately. Mustafa says, and I'm seeing this more and more everywhere now. Pandora's box has been opened. The genie is out of the bottle, toothpaste out of the tube, whatever. It's only getting worse from here on out, unless there's actual laws passed and made illegal. I'm not an optimist at this point about that ever happening. There's too much money tied up in it. Let's see what Mike Reese says to that, because he's got a response here. He says, it's not going anywhere, and the legal gray area is too complex, but our industry is salvageable if publishers, shows, and as many consumers as possible have a united stance on what constitute as art. And that is going to be the debate, isn't it? Because you're going to have people that are going to say AI art is art, that they're still being they're still doing creative things because they're coming up with the prompts and manipulating the system, which in a sense is creativity all on its own. But they're also going to say that they also alter photos and change things around and thus adding their own touches to them, thus calling it quote unquote art. I don't think it's art. Sean of Comics Elite says OpenAI is probably going to have the first $1 trillion IPO offering ever. So yeah, no laws being passed anytime soon. At least anyone can use the images they create because they can't be copyrighted unless that they change something. And the change, by the way, has to be significant. There's got to be a certain chunk. I think it's somewhere around 30%, but I'm guessing. If someone actually knows the answer, tell me down in the comments. Mike Krome should sell prints of the AI version also, or just give them away for free. If someone buys his print, he can sign them both too. No, I wouldn't do that. Mike Krome doesn't need to sell fake AI art of his own art. You know what I mean? If you want to go ahead and do a painted piece, awesome. I'm sure it will look gorgeous. But he doesn't need to do this. What you do is you just start, telling these sites to take them down. It's all you can do. And for every site that comes down, probably 5 more are going up. But that's what you do. And like he said, if conventions and publishers and other entities take a hard stance against it, then it'll be a little bit harder to do. But you're always going to have people that are going to go on something like a Deviant Art or a Redbubble or a Teespring or whatever and sell fake merch. It just is. Larry Johnson II says, nope. The AI does not look better, but I guess you could be flattered that they are picking up your art. No, it's I don't know if I'd be flattered. Dude, the faces. There are only 2 people there. Steve Ferris says the AI does not look better. It looks different. It also looks like the same as 1,000 of other AIs out there. Also, notice how they gave them all the same face and destroyed your beautiful leg position on the first girl, giving her an impossible foot. Yeah, so there's the foot problem. I'm always pissed off when AI scumbags steal art, says Steve Paxson. More so when it's from the artist. I respect and admire artists who've done the real work, put in the real time. I own this one, so I'm incensed. ×2. How about people who use AI art as tools? Well, I mean, it can be a great tool for concept design, maybe testing ideas, coming up with poses, stuff like that. I can see it. But actually producing a full piece of AI art and just slapping it on your comic book and calling it your own, it's a little whack. You know what I'm saying? What else are they saying here? Real is the deal. I agree. Wow, the absolute heresy that AI piece has brought to the doorstep. JFC, we know what that means. That's flat out theft, blatant thievery. This is infuriating. F those robots. Bro, this is effed up and so obvious. Sorry, you got swiped. So I guess that's the term. Swiped, you got swiped. F these people and everyone like them. It's just absolute scummy behavior. See this shit all the time. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anyone in here. Unless if it's this guy. I was going to say, I don't see anyone in here kind of coming to the defense of AI art. Yeah. I don't know. I want to know what you think, though. What do you guys think about this? Have you seen more and more cases like this on the rise? Have you seen artists that you've recognized, loved, and admired, whose work you followed, be plagiarized and have, essentially their art stolen from them and sold as prints for others to monetize? Let me know in the comments section below if you've seen that, where you may have seen that. And we got to do what we can to actually protect real art, I do think that that's important. You'll never see AI art in Nyobi. You just won't see it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Like and subscribe to the video and all that good shit. And we'll talk to you again real soon.